The 1044 is brought to you by Chevron Delo 600 ADF Ultra Low Ash Diesel Engine Oil. It's time to kick some ash. This week on the 1044, we're talking about used trucks. If you've got them, you're sitting on a diamond mine. If you don't, get ready to pay up. Hey everybody, and welcome to the 1044, a weekly webisode from the editors here at CCJ. I'm Jason Cannon, and my co-host on the other side is Matt Cole. We've seen a lot of carriers looking to expand capacity in the last year, chasing hot freight and really healthy rates. But the enthusiasm has been met with OEM's inability to meet rising new truck demand, and that trickle-down has driven the used truck market to record heights.
There's a perfect storm of sorts currently in play in the used truck market, with shortage of parts, rubber, and other build components keeping OEMs from being able to quickly fulfill order books that are bursting at the seams. The inability to secure new trucks has caused many carriers to extend their trade cycles and keep those units on the road because replacement units haven't yet been built.
That's exactly right, Matt. And we've got two guests with us that are going to delve into what's happening with the market. But before we're joined by experts from J.D. Power and Ritchie Brothers, let's hear from our sponsor, Chevron Lubricants. Protecting your diesel engine and its after-treatment system has traditionally been a double-edged sword. The same engine oil that is so essential to protecting your engine's internal parts is also responsible for 90% of the ash that is clogging up your DPF and upping your fuel and maintenance costs. Outdated industry thinking still sees a trade-off between engine and emission system protection, and Chevron was tired of it. So they spent a decade of R&D developing a no-compromise formulation. Chevron Lubricants developed a new ultra-low ash diesel engine oil that is specifically designed to combat DPF ash clogging. Delo 600 ADF with OmniMax technology cuts sulfate ash by a whopping 60%, which reduces the rate of DPF clogging and extends DPF service life by 2.5 times. And just think what you can do with all the MPGs you're going to add from cutting your number of regens. But Delo 600 ADF isn't just about after-treatment. It provides complete protection, extending drain intervals by preventing oil breakdown. Before you had to choose between protecting your engine or your after-treatment system, and now you don't. 600 ADF from Delo with OmniMax technology, it's time to kick some ash. I think Chris Visser, who's J.D. Power's senior analyst, product manager of commercial vehicles, he sums up really nicely what the last 5 months have been like for buyers and sellers of used trucks.
Completely nuts. Whether you're looking at auction values or retail selling prices for sleeper tractors are completely through the roof. If you're bidding on trucks at auction, you're usually bidding against end users. 3-4-year-old trucks with under 600,000 miles are selling for upwards of $75,000 at auction. So, that's unprecedented. This time last year, we were just starting to come out of the shutdowns, which May was basically the worst month. April and May were basically the worst 2 months of 2020 for the economy and for freight. But then things rebounded pretty dramatically, getting us to the point we are now where we've had, a solid year plus of price appreciation for used trucks at auction on retail, where trucks are just unavailable. Historically, in terms of returning supply of trades, I think we're probably at about the average, if slightly lower. Fleets are holding on to their inventory a little bit longer than they usually do because new trucks are unavailable, and the used trucks are just worth so much more than they usually are. I think those dynamics have just resulted in everything being totally skewed.
Tyler Townsend, Ritchie Brothers Director of Strategic Accounts, notes that for the prior 3 months ending in May, used truck prices are up 23% year over year, and with so much volatility surrounding pricing and availability of build materials, this could be the new normal for a while.
Several fleets would normally retire their older units, are now having to extend the lives and extend leases to keep trucks on the road in anticipation of that new delivery in the delays. Of the used trucks that we're currently coming into the secondary market, we're truly seeing a great demand. They're bringing a premium price in the open market. Prices show strengthening for used tractors. In our estimation for the 3 months ending May, prices for used truck tractors increased 23% year over year. Several of our customers who have available inventory are reaping the benefit of the current market. Once a steady supply of new trucks starts to flow, with the normalization of the market, But, unfortunately, I'm not sure that, what's going to look like, because the world's trying to figure out, what is the norm, right? In today's world, with the increased cost of steel, aluminum, and, other commodities, new equipment prices should increase. So is today's used truck pricing the new norm? In the first quarter of 2021, our web traffic was up 47% year over year. And if you've attended any of our live auctions lately, you'd be impressed by the number of bidders that are attending the sale and actively bidding.
Eventually, this truck build logjam is going to break, but unless you're one of the fleets standing in line, you might not realize it. Chris tells us a little bit about how to read the market tea leaves.
One thing anybody who's watched the used truck market for more than a couple of boom and bust cycles will agree on is that the used truck values, used truck prices, used truck supply always changes more quickly and more dramatically than other aspects of the economy. So when we start to see an uptick in off-trade units at auction, when we start to see a lot more fleet trucks being sold at auction because fleets are deciding that it's no longer worth their time to sell all those trucks on their own direct. When we start to see increased volume at auction, lower pricing at auction, and maybe less foot traffic at dealerships on the retail side, that's when we'll know a market shift is occurring. And when that happens for more than a few weeks at auction, more than 2 months or so at retail, then we can be pretty confident that a shift will occur. And like you said, that will start with a better supply of new trucks. That might be the first step towards getting back to a more normal, typical market. That would be followed by increase in the number of trucks coming off trade because fleets are back to a normal trade schedule, and the supply of new trucks allows fleets to be trading in their used iron again. So those would be the two signs to watch for. Those trucks will show up at auction first. Fleets will shift from selling all of their iron direct to cycling some of that iron through the auction channel.
Chris said he expects the next couple of months to look a lot like the months prior. Tight supply of units with premium, or what he called super high pricing. But as we get deeper into the summer, things could begin to change.
Once we get into late July, August, we'll start to keep our eye out for better new truck availability. Sooner or later, the chip shortage and the rolling parts shortages will be alleviated to some degree. So when, I think in probably August timeframe is when we'll start to look for some more off-trade iron coming through the auctions. Also keep an eye on the large fleets websites to see if their asking prices on the retail side are coming down. That could be another indicator. Those probably August timeframe is when we'd start to look for that. That doesn't necessarily mean we'll see a change in August. That's just when we would expect, if there is a change, it could start happening around then.
Tyler doesn't have August circled on his calendar and said he expects the back half of 2021 from a truck pricing and availability perspective to look a lot like the first half.
Everybody's asking, when is this going to end, right? So, I would say, and again, reading all the articles that are out there, freight demand's good. Just the overall, what does the production look like, and what is the future supply of used trucks? And as I'd mentioned earlier, is the price of used trucks going to be stable? Is it going to be up where it's at now? I think maybe on older equipment, it may settle down a little bit, but on the demand right now for good used late model trucks is still very strong.
We've been through boom and bust cycles before, but Tyler says this boom cycle is unique because there's so many moving parts.
I've been in the business for over 30 years. And, one of the challenges that, last year was, and even this year with the pandemic, and then you had, I'm based in Dallas, Texas. So then we had the freeze back in February, and all of these other items that are coming into play. I've seen oversupply of inventory back in, I date myself, but back in 1999 and 2000. But, other than that, this is a very unique time. Anything we can get our hands on, we can sell.
As Tyler noted pretty clearly, there's not a lot of headwinds facing sellers of used trucks. And Chris added that if you're waiting to get into the market, there may be no better time to jump in than right now.
At this point in time, if you're sitting on a used truck and you would like to trade it in, now's the time when you're going to be getting the most money for your used truck. We're probably near the peak of used truck pricing at this point. Now, there could be a plateau for a few months. I don't think we're going to see the incredible double-digit percentage increases month over month in used truck values that we have seen, though, going forward necessarily. And then if you're a buyer, there's the two sides of the coin. It's you'll be paying more for the truck that you're taking in, but you'll also be selling the truck that you're selling for more money as well. So there's the give and take there. So it all depends on whether you want to play in a super hot market or whether you want to wait for the market to cool off a bit.
And that's it for this week's 1044. You can read more on ccjdigital.com. And as always, you can find the 1044 each week on CCJ's YouTube channel. And if you've got questions, comments, criticisms, or feedback, please hit us up at 1044trucking@gmail.com or give us a call, 404-491-1380. And until next week, everybody stay safe.